Can you guess years back how the people counted their sheep while they are back from grazing? They used stones and sticks. They give each stone or stick for each shape. Maybe from there we started thinking about counting system and gradually invented the natural numbers or counting numbers, which starts counting from 1. Later, there came the idea of nothingness, that is 0, and included it in the number system. So natural number with a 0 is named as whole number system, which starts counting from 0. Then there came integers, the numbers that were invented after 0, which includes negative numbers, that is -1, -2, -3, so on. In this video, we will discuss the operations on integers. First, we will go through addition and subtraction. For that, we are going to learn some simple rules that will make this a lot easier. So we will start with addition. The first thing you should keep in mind while adding numbers is that when numbers are of equal sign, you should add them and put the same sign in the answer number. For example, if you are adding 2 and 3, both of them are positive, so the answer will be the positive 5. If you are adding -2 plus -3, that is both of the numbers having negative sign. Here also you add those numbers, that is 2 plus 3 is 5, and put the same sign, that is both the numbers having negative sign, put negative on it. So the answer is -5. The second rule is that if the numbers are of different signs, you should subtract them and put the sign of the greatest number in the answer number. For example, if you are given -2 plus 3, so both of the numbers have different signs. So in such time, find the difference between them. That is, the difference between 2 and 3 is 1, and put the sign of the greatest number. Here the greatest number is 3 and the sign of 3 is positive. So here in the answer also we should put the positive sign. So the answer is positive 1. If the numbers are given like this, 2 plus -3. Here also we are having two numbers with different two signs. So find the difference between 2 and 3. And the difference between 2 and 3 is again 1. And what is the sign of the greatest number? Here the greatest number is 3. And what is the sign of 3? It is negative. So put the negative in the answer. So the answer is -1. Next we will start subtraction. Along with the above two rules, 2 more are needed to subtract. So I am going to count this rule as our third rule. When two negatives comes together, they form a pair and become a positive number. That is our third rule. That is, if you are given 2 minus -3, here the negatives comes together, two negatives. So it will become a positive, and we can rewrite the same question as 2 plus 3. And what is 2 plus 3? Both of them having same sign. So add them and put the same sign, which is positive 5. If the question is like this, -2, -3. That means here two negatives come together, so we can make them positive. So the same question we can rewrite as -2 plus 3. Here we have two numbers having two different signs and we have to add them. While we are adding this, we should subtract them and put the sign of the greatest number. So the difference between 2 and 3 is 1, and the sign of the greatest number, that is 3, is positive. So the answer is positive 1. And the fourth rule is that if you have a problem like this, 5 minus 1, you can just change it into addition. Instead of 5 minus 1, you can just write as 5 plus -1. For example, if you are given -2 minus 3, you can rewrite it as -2 plus -3. So here it comes, the addition of two numbers having same sign. So add them and put the same sign. So the answer is -5. If you are given 2 minus 3, we can rewrite it as 2 plus -3. So we are having two numbers with two different signs. So subtract them and put the sign of the greatest number. So the difference between 2 and 3 is 1, and the sign of the greatest number, that is 3, is negative. So the answer is -1. So that's all about addition and subtraction. Next we will discuss about the multiplication and division of integers. Next we're gonna to learn how to multiply and divide integers. The good news is that there is no new rule for this, because even though it involves both positive and negative numbers, the multiplication and division still work basically the same way. In a multiplication problem, if you have an even number of negative factors, they will form a pair that will balance each other and give you a positive number. First look at the simple problem 3 into 5. You know that the answer is 15. But now, because of negative numbers, we know that there are 3 more varieties of problem that we need to learn how to do. They are -3 into 5, 3 into -5, -3 into -5. Basically, when doing integer multiplication, you can just pretend that the negatives are in there. So we are gonna to get the same number for the answer in all the 4 problems. It's just that the sign of the answer, whether it is positive or negative, will be depend upon how many negative factors we are multiplying. So after multiplication, you just count up how many negative factors are there to figure out the sign of our answer number. If there are even number of negative factors, the answer will be positive. If there are an odd number of negative factors, then the answer will be negative. So in the first problem, we don't have any negative factors, so our answer is just gonna be positive 15. In the second problem, we have only one negative factor be multiplied, which means our answer will be -15. In the third problem, here also we are only having one negative factor, so the answer will be -15. But in the fourth one, we are having 2 negative factors, so they will become a pair and gives us a positive sign. So our answer is positive 15. That's all about multiplication. We can do the division also in the same way. If we are dividing 10 by 2, just pretend that no negative signs are there and the answer number will be 5. And what about the negatives? Just count the negative factors, and if there are even number of negative factors, the answer will become positive. If there are only odd number of negative factors, the answer will become negative. In the first question, we are dividing 10 by 2, both of them positive, so the answer is positive 5. In the second question, we are again dividing 10 by 2, so the answer is 5, but we have only one negative factor, so the answer will be -5. In the third question also, we are dividing 10 by 2 and only one negative factor is there, so the answer is -5. In the fourth question, we have 2 negative factors, so it will become a pair and the answer will become +5. Okay. For your practice, you may use the link given below. Please note that each one will be having only one chance to answer the questions.